Hi. Okay, so before I start this video, I just want, this is my disclaimer, okay? So I am brand new to YouTube. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's awful, okay? It's awful. So I am working on trying to figure out how to edit, how to do all of this. So just know that hopefully my videos will be getting better. So just bear with me. So tonight's video, I wanted to talk about the idea that victims attract narcissists. And this is a common, a common thing that I think people ask themselves, especially if you've dated more than one narcissist, like I have. You start to become really paranoid, and you think, what is it about me that? Why do I keep finding these crazies, right? But honestly, the reality is, I think a lot of people date narcissists. They just aren't using that word, right? So they're referring to them as crazy, as psycho, as jerks, or worse, all these different things. I really don't think that victims attract narcissists. And I know that a lot of people think, well, no, they do, because narcissists are attracted to codependent people. Well, yes and no. I mean, I've known a lot of narcissists that are attracted to really strong people that have high standards and solid boundaries, and their whole goal is those people are more of a challenge. So you can't say broad brush that narcissists are attracted to codependent people. And honestly, even if they were, it's not like they can tell that you're codependent from across the room. It's not like, the movie Twilight, where all the vampires were human beings, smelled a certain way and they were attracted to the smell of some people. That's not reality. Narcissists, they don't have any superhuman powers, even though sometimes it can feel like they do. And I get it, and you're not crazy if you think that. I think a lot of people think that too. They don't know. They really don't know. And even if they did know, even if you were attracting them, who cares? Who cares? So, because we all attract the wide range of people, right? I mean, I attract, really fantastic men, and I attract really sketchy pervo guys. Everybody, I think, attracts the full range of people. It doesn't matter what you attract. It matters what you keep in your life. And if anything, that's the problem, is not necessarily that narcissists are attracted to us. It's that we are somehow attracted to them, and that we're allowing them to stay in our lives for a lot longer than we should. So, and plus, the reality is I don't want to believe that I attract them, because there's no power in that. If I were to acknowledge or subscribe to that belief that that I somehow attract narcissists, well, that's just outside of my power, right? So I just somehow, there's just something about me. They just happen to like short little Italian girls. Well, I can't change that. I can't fix that. So I like having a say in my life, and I like having power in my life. So, I don't think that they are attracted to us. The third point about this that I wanted to bring up is abusers in general are not attracted to people. They're attracted to vulnerabilities. And because we're human, we're vulnerable. And all of us have vulnerabilities all throughout our life. So it's not like you could get into counseling, and work on your codependency issues, and then, somehow get this, a seal of approval from your therapist after a few years that you're, codependent no more, which is a great book, by the way, but that you're fine, that you're not going to attract a narcissist after you quit being codependent. It doesn't work that way. They're out there. There's so many narcissists out there. You're going to be coming across them all the time. We all come across them all the time. I mean, estimates are right around like 3 to 6% of the population is a narcissist. That's huge. That breaks down to about anywhere from 1 in 28 people to 1 in 14. That's just narcissists. That's not even including sociopaths or psychopaths, which are antisocial personality disordered people now. But, that's a large chunk of the population. So that means, you've got people on your street that are narcissists. You've got people that you work with, people that you're probably going to school with. So they are out there. The odds of you, probably even dating more than one is pretty high. But again, it doesn't matter who you attract into your life. It's how long you keep them there. So to me, the better question is, how do I get a narcissist out of my life once I recognize them for what they are? Okay, because that's where the power is. That's where your personal power is to say who stays and who goes, because it's your life. So you need to assess yourself for vulnerabilities, and our vulnerabilities change throughout our life. So maybe at some point in your life you were, I don't know, really heavy. Let's say you had a lot of weight to lose, and let's say you'd lost all that weight. Well, maybe at one point in your life, that excess weight made you very vulnerable to, to being used and abused by people. Well, now that you've lost the weight, it doesn't mean that you stopped becoming vulnerable. Maybe now you went through a divorce, or maybe now you won the lottery, right? And you're filthy rich. All of these things make you vulnerable and can make you a target to other people. Now so figure out kind of what your vulnerabilities are. So especially if you're feeling like lonely or kind of have low self-esteem, those are some signs that you're probably not going to be making the best decisions right now or the best choices in partners. And be aware if somebody starts exploiting these vulnerabilities. So don't put up with a bunch of nonsense. If you start, if somebody starts doing things that you're not okay with, if they start, calling you names, if they start being overly rough with you, if they, are mean to your kids or your pets or disrespectful, really, in any way, shape, or form, they're standing you up. They're, I think a lot of narcissists flirt a lot and they cheat a lot. If you start seeing red flags, if you're starting to go through somebody's phone, if you're starting to have these suspicions that something's not right early on in the relationship, like odds are something's not right. Pay attention to that your gut instinct, and be aware of somebody exploiting your vulnerabilities. And pay special attention too if you notice that there are these red flags and they are flirting with other women or men, whatever. And if you don't want to let them go, if you find yourself justifying their behavior and you've got 100 reasons to go, but you have one, if you're looking for that one reason to stay, that's a flag to you that you need to not be in that relationship, because you are not making decisions that are in your best interest. And I hear this all the time too. These people say, yes, but I love him. I love him. Like that's supposed to, oh, okay, well that entitles you to make really stupid decisions. It doesn't. Who cares if you love somebody? I really am so uninterested in who people are in love with. It's not a free pass to make stupid decisions for yourself. Because if you love them, whatever, but you need to love yourself more. You need to love yourself enough to say, hey, you know what? I don't tolerate this nonsense. And yeah, you know what? I may love you, but not putting up with that. I'm not going to get hit. I'm not going to get yelled at. I'm not going to put up with you, flirting or lying or cheating or stealing or whatever it is. So have enough self-respect to walk. The whole saying, men are like buses, another one comes along every 10 minutes. It's true. There's a lot of people out there. And, he's obviously, it's not like you'd be losing much, because this person would be a jerk if they're doing all that. So have a healthy dose of skepticism when you are first meeting people. It's really easy for narcissists to present well, and that just takes time. It takes time to see them for what they really are. Knowing, so here's the 3 things that I think people can do to protect themselves from a narcissist. When I started doing these 3 things, my life radically changed. I feel like I'm not even concerned about attracting narcissists in my life, because if I do, and I have, I've gone on a couple dates with a few of them in the past, few months, but I'm not concerned about it because of these 3 things. 1, I know the red flags now. Like, I sat down and really, after the second relationship with the narcissist ended, I just thought, okay, time out. I need to figure out what in the hell is going on here. So I started making a list of all the red flags. I'm going to be posting those on my website. I think I have about 20 or so up right now. I have 50 red flags in all. So go there on the page. It's called How to Spot a Narcissist. So know the red flags, and then give yourself in the relationship time enough to let those red flags show themselves. Second thing you can do is to have high standards for how you're going to be treated, right? So like everything we just talked about, do not tolerate a bunch of nonsense. Have good boundaries, solid boundaries. I think a lot of us tend to allow our boundaries to be pushed. We tend to excuse a lot of behavior. We tend to listen to excuses and don't listen to words, pay attention to actions. That's where you're going to see a person's true colors. If you're dealing with the same behaviors over and over and over again, the same lying, not even the same lies, but just lying, cheating, stealing, that's who that person really is. It's free and easy, right? To talk up a storm and say, oh, well, I'm never going to do this again and I love you and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Who cares what words they use? Pay attention to actions. So that's how I think you keep a narcissist out of your life. I don't think that you're attracting them, but I'm more concerned that you know how to get rid of them if they are in your life. So that's it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.